Now from your breaking news and weather authority, WITN News at 5.
The family of a missing Ohio woman joins the search for the mother who disappeared during the July 4th holiday on the Outer Banks. We have a live report, and it's a brutal crime that gripped a local community this spring. 3 convenience store workers killed during a robbery, and now the autopsy results shed more light on what happened. Good afternoon, I'm April Davis. Thank you for joining us. Now, we spoke to the family of a mother missing since the 4th of July holiday as the search for her continues on our coast. Investigators say her on and off again boyfriend, Nathan Summerfield, returned to their hometown of Ashland, Ohio with 2 children, but without 33-year-old Lynn Jackenheimer. The boyfriend's brother says Summerfield told him he strangled Jackenheimer and buried her under brush. Carly Swain joins us live from Hatteras Island, where crews have been searching for the missing mom, and now her family has joined the effort. Carly.
That's right, April. You know, it's been a week and a day since Lynn Jackenheimer was last seen at this beach rental property here on Hatteras Island. It was around midnight right before the 4th of July. Well, today, some friends and family have made the trip from Ohio to join the search teams here. It was about 2:30 this afternoon that we saw 2 vehicles coming up to the command center that the Dare County Sheriff's Office had set up. Family and friends were ushered inside for a private briefing, then back out to create some search groups, some taking to the brush right off the highway, while others began combing the wood line near the Salvo Day use access area. Earlier, cameras caught up with Jackenheimer's brother.
Just trying to get down here and help out in any way. I mean, we'd like to thank everybody down here too. That's been more than a blessing for sure. Confusion, man. I mean, we just want to know where she's at.
And even as we speak, they are looking for Lynn Jackenheimer. Now, as for the boyfriend, Nathan Summerfield, the man who's been named a person of interest in this case, investigators say the last time they were able to keep track of him was on Saturday. That's when he checked into his Super 8 motel in Richmond, Virginia. He was alone. April?
All right. Thank you very much, Carly. Coming up tonight at 6, more from the missing mother's family as they continue that search in Dare County. Well, more rain across the east today. Chief Meteorologist Marvin Doherty says if you like today, you'll probably enjoy tomorrow's weather too. Marvin?
That's right, April. Looks like more in the form of scattered showers and storms. Certainly not everyone getting one. The most concentrated area today has been across the southern half of eastern Carolina, and that would be the area from around Highway 264 south for the most part. And you can see these showers and storms rather erratic. They develop for a while and then they decrease. Certainly nothing severe to indicate in these storms. Some showers here in eastern portions of Pamlico County into eastern Carteret County. Pretty strong storm going on. A little lightning strike or two near Trenton, Pollexville area in Jones County, also near Comfort, and a little farther north near Kinston. We're picking up some light to moderate shower activity there. In the Greenville area, shower just south of Greenville at this point on the southern end, that is, of Greenville. Other than that, just typical late afternoon July showers and storms kind of popping up and then dying away. And that will be the trend the next 24 hours or so. We have some showers this evening, overnight. They'll fade away. Really not much going on after midnight. Pretty quiet, just warm, humid conditions. And then tomorrow we'll refire up with some showers and scattered thunderstorms again in the range of about a 30 to 40% chance during the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, that stationary front hanging around the area. It looks like it's going to hang around tonight into tomorrow, then gradually dissipate, and that means increasing sunshine and heat as we head into the weekend. I'll have more on that coming up in a few moments. April.
Thank you, Marvin. Well, autopsies for the remaining 2 victims in the Farmville Hustle Mart triple murder show the men were shot in the back of the head just like their cousin. The reports on the deaths of Nabil El-Magani and Makbel Al-Mujani were released today by the medical examiner's office in Chapel Hill. The autopsy showed 16-year-old Al-Mujani had 4 wounds, one which exited near the left eye. That was fatal. Al-Magani, who was 26 years old, was wounded in the right hand and in the back of the head. David Alawi's autopsy was released last week. It said the 24-year-old man died from a single gunshot wound to the back of the head. The 3 were gunned down April 1st during a robbery at the Hustle Mart in Farmville. 4 people have been charged for the murders. North Carolina's 2011 crime rate fell to its lowest rate since 1977. However, the number of murders increased 5.9%. The Department of Justice said that today. Attorney General Roy Cooper releasing the annual crime rate report. saying although the rate went down, he's concerned continuous budget cuts will make it harder for law enforcement officers to do their jobs.
Rates down, robbery.
We can't just take comfort in the fact that overall crime is reduced by 0.9%. Yes, that's a good thing, but there are other crimes out there that are increasing. The murder rate went up. We need to heed these warning signs because crime could significantly increase if we do not put the investment in law enforcement and technology that's needed.
Cooper also pointed out the rate does not include crimes like meth labs, prescription drug abuse, and child pornography and exploitation, crimes that he says are on the rise. Well, Lindsay Fry spoke with Greenville police about last year's crime numbers that show crime is down overall in the city, and she joins us live in Greenville. Lindsay.
April, while the numbers for Greenville show an overall 17% crime decrease, it also shows that violent crime has increased. Now, Greenville's 2011 17% crime decrease is nearly 1% better than their 2010 crime numbers. Now, that's according to Sergeant Joe Friday. But even though property crime is down, violent crime, including murder, is up. Greenville police say while they weren't surprised their numbers were similar to 2010's, they were surprised at how other areas increased in crime.
I am a little bit surprised maybe by our standing compared to some of the other cities. I thought everybody was going to be going down a little bit, and it looks like we've gone down pretty much as most of anybody in the state.
Now, other areas in the east, Rocky Mount, Onslow County, and Lenoir County have all seen an overall increase in crime. And Greenville still has what police are calling hot spots, where violent and property crime remain a concern. April?
Thank you, Lindsay. And coming up at 6, we'll hear from experts on how the crime stats are broken down. Well, those stats show violent crimes escalated last year in Kinston, with several people shot and killed. Federal, state, and local officials are coming together to try and reverse that trend, and Kelsey Smith was in Kinston today as they unveiled the success of Operation Counterpunch. She joins us live. Kelsey.
April, 15 people were arrested yesterday in Kinston as a result of Operation Counterpunch as officials try to crack down on crime. But one woman whose home was raided isn't too happy.
U.S. Attorney Thomas Walker says Operation Counterpunch is all about cleaning up Kinston.
We try to target the worst of the worst, and we try to make a difference for the people who are trying to live lawful lives and play by the rules in Kinston. So those are the ones that we've tried to target.
One of the people arrested was Virginia Pryor's fiance, Eric Latham.
My son was scared to death because he didn't know what was going on, and the guns waving around didn't help either.
Pryor was at her home Wednesday at 304 Caswell Street in Kinston when the Kinston Police Department and federal agents took Latham into custody.
I think that his charges are totally uncalled for. I've been with Eric every day. Why ain't I charged with something? Why don't they have anything on me if he was doing what they're accusing him of doing?
Latham was one of 15 people arrested Wednesday on federal firearms and narcotic charges. Walker said during the investigation and apprehension of the 15 individuals, agents seized 54 firearms, over 362 rounds of ammunition, more than $8,000 in cash, 4 vehicles, 213 grams of crack cocaine, and various amounts of cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana. Officials say while the crime had been on the rise in Kinston for a while, it was the murder of Deputy Warren Sneak Lewis in June of 2011 that sparked Operation Counterpunch. Kinston Director of Public Safety Bill Johnson says he plans to continue the same enforcement.
We collaborate with other agencies and law enforcement comes together. We can accomplish a tremendous amount of good in the community.
Public Safety Director Johnson says they will continue to focus on the long-term approach to decrease violence. He believes it's the only way to remove it from the community. April?
Kelsey, thank you very much. And 15 agencies from the local, state, and federal levels worked together on Operation Counterpunch. Well, it's called the fiscal cliff, an edge of tax hikes and spending cuts, and experts say we walk off it December 31st unless Congress comes together for the rescue. Steve Handelsman has the story.
It's a lot of talk, but no action. Senate Democrats pushed a jobs bill for small business.
If you increase your payroll, then we have a tax help for you to do that.
Instead, the Senate ought to repeal Obama health care, say House Republicans.
It is the most personal issue to many millions of Americans.
Senate Republicans want action to keep tax cuts in effect,
not higher taxes.
But Democrats want higher taxes on the rich, who Vice President Biden told the NAACP enjoy $500 billion in tax breaks.
While we cut and eviscerate all these other programs, while the debt continues to climb.
It's gridlock on the big issues, with automatic tax hikes and defense and social service spending cuts looming, the fiscal cliff.
I say the chances are we're going over the fiscal cliff. And I hate to say it, but I think that's probably right.
Democrat Erskine Bowles, Republican Alan Simpson, and pro-Obama billionaire Warren Buffett on CNBC said tax hikes and spending cuts have to be passed now, but won't be.
Politically, nothing will be done between now and November 6th.
Not by this Congress.
And you're not doing anything?
I mean, they say they can't do anything in an election year, but why pay them? We ought to pay them just for 3 years out of 4. I mean,
oh, they're working to take stands that they think will help their guy win the White House.
But Simpson, Bowles, and Buffett warn that gives Congress less time to cut the huge deals needed to pull back from the fiscal cliff. Well, a boat from right here in the East is making its way around the world without a crew. The boat named Goin' Deep has made a journey nearly 3,000 nautical miles from where it was first capsized February of last year, about 30 miles off of Hatteras. The Coast Guard responded to a distress call then from the crew, and 4 were rescued and the boat was left to drift. It was spotted 1,400 nautical miles east of Hatteras back in January, and now it's a few hundred miles from the coast of Portugal.
If they remain afloat, they'll get hooked in the ocean currents, and in this case, they're hooked into the Gulf Stream, and that will take them all the way across the Atlantic.
Well, the son of the boat's original owner says he is working on a website so people can follow the boat and check in if they spot it somewhere. And tonight at 6, Carly Swain will have a report on this boat's fantastic voyage. Well, it was a muggy day across the East, and it looks like these conditions are going to stick around for your Friday. Chief Meteorologist Marvin Doherty has all of the details with your Weather Authority forecast after the break. Today, former FBI Director Louis Freeh revealed the findings of an 8-month investigation into Penn State's handling of the Jerry Sandusky child sexual abuse scandal. The report is not good for the Penn State University, some of its administrators, and the late football coach Joe Paterno. Chris Pallone has the story.
The most powerful men at Penn State failed to take any steps for 14 years to protect the children who Sandusky victimized.
In the 267-page report, former FBI Director Louis Freeh blasts Penn State's tone at the top, a culture that fostered protecting the reputation of the school and its programs over the well-being of young children, a sentiment the Penn State Board of Trustees accepts and takes responsibility for.
The board, in cooperation with the administration, will take every action to ensure that an event like this never happens again.
Freeh roundly criticizes former university president Graham Spanier, Vice President Gary Schultz, Athletic Director Tim Curley, and Hall of Fame football coach Joe Paterno. He maintains if any of those men acted on information they knew about Sandusky as early as 1998, several children might not have become victims. The report reveals clear evidence the group planned to go to authorities after grad assistant Mike McQuarrie saw Sandusky showering with a young boy in 2001, but changed course after Paterno was consulted, motivated by the desire to avoid bad publicity.
What's significant and shocking is that the 4 of them, the most powerful people in Penn State University, made a decision to conceal this information.
Reaction to the revelations has been swift and strong. This from an attorney representing one of Sandusky's victims.
Penn State needs to recognize that this report is a roadmap for the civil litigation, for the Attorney General's future investigations, the Department of Justice, as well as the NCAA.
In a statement, Paterno's family admitted the coach could have done more, but maintains he never would knowingly cover up for a child predator. With the facts now out, Paterno's legacy is left for history to judge.
The Freeh report outlines more than 100 steps the Board of Trustees should take to ensure something like this never happens at Penn State again. Well, with the joys of summer, swimming, camping, and barbecuing, also come the dangers of summer. After the break, how to keep your family safe while having fun this time of year.